we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Grayscale Investments is the world's largest digital currency asset manager. We've been in business since late 2013, and we were early to recognize that digital currencies were going to become a bona fide asset class. And when we look at the way a lot of asset managers have grown their businesses, it's really been about providing access to a certain part of the market, stocks, bonds, you name it. In the case of Grayscale, we've developed a whole family of investment products that allow investors to access digital currencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, and now have a family of 15 investment products and over $40 billion of assets under management.
What defines the market today, Michael, and what should investors be looking for?
Well, I think there's a challenge for investors. There are now hundreds, if not thousands, of digital currencies out there. And many investors, I think, first have to understand the underlying technology as well as the use cases around various digital currencies to decide what may make sense for them. Things like Bitcoin are inherently built to be a digital form of money or a store of value, whereas things like Ethereum are meant to be more of a gas to power decentralized applications, and the list goes on and on. But the truth of the digital currency ecosystem is that it's not necessarily going to be appropriate for every investor. We tend to find that those who want to allocate to digital currencies are those that have a higher risk tolerance, a longer time horizon for their investment, and also have found that, especially over the last few years, there's an appreciation now that there's in fact a whole asset class. It's not just about Bitcoin or just about Ethereum, but we're starting to see new use cases emerge, whether it's around file storage or gaming or privacy, that is also inherently tied back to many of the digital currency protocols that have been created. And with that, we've seen a trend amongst investors to ensure that if they do invest, they're also doing it through a diversified lens, investing beyond just assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where much of the market.
This asset class is correlation with legacy financial instruments. And I'm really curious to get your take on that. There's some indications that it's not correlated. There's some indications that it is correlated. Where do you come out?
I think that my general feeling is that it would probably be uncorrelated. I think what we typically see is investors thinking about this as occupying a new part of their portfolio. I would certainly think most investors characterize it as being at the high risk end of the spectrum for them, but not necessarily something that's tied to many of their other investments. And so we've seen a rotation out of things like gold or other stores of value and into assets like Bitcoin. And even some investors starting to believe that they now have this entirely new asset class at their disposal that can actually help them weather market volatility. So I think it depends on the investor, but generally speaking, with only 10 or maybe even now 12 years of a track record, it's hard to really establish that correlation or lack thereof.
Specifically to what China did today, why is China so threatened by trading in cryptocurrencies?
I think what China really wants to do, like many other governments, is to maintain control of the digital payments within the country, but more importantly, also to make sure that cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are not used as conduits to take money in and out of the country through unofficial channels. Now, China has already been trying to cut down its tech giants, including Ant Financial, to size. Alipay and WeChat Pay dominate the digital payment space in China, and China wants to make sure that its fiat currency, the yuan, issued by the central bank, still has a role to play, which is why they're thinking of issuing a digital yuan.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have the CEO of Grayscale speaking of the crypto market. He says it's not correlated with the legacy market. But we know the Fed is controlling both, pumping cryptos and pumping stocks. But we know that's about to end, and it's about to start fourth quarter. And 2022 is going to be one of the worst economic times in history. But we know the New World Order has that solution, that 1% of cryptos. And he had a nerve to say we have hundreds or even thousands of cryptos. Guys, we have over 12,000 cryptos. That's how you know they read off a script. And then we had Bloomberg saying that China's thinking about a digital yuan. Thinking, guys, when we know for a fact it's going to be live next year. First quarter, it's already being tested. But we see how the news media performs the Hegelian dialectic. And guess what? The masses fall for it. The Fed is about to bring the house down. Because we know, when it comes to the New World Order, America to Babylon is planned to fall. And China is planned to rise. We know the New World Order goes off problem, reaction, solution. They've already created plenty of problems. We're just waiting on a reaction so they can run in with a solution. Cryptocurrencies. And we know it starts 2022. Get your friends and family educated. And tell them the Crypto Teacher told them. They have 12 months to get their house in order. You either wake up or fall for the devil's plan. Y'all have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.